Hello, good night. This is Rick Hormigo. I am with Pan Aqua, like instructor, and I'm going to talk tonight about our trip to the Medes Islands. That is a beautiful place that a lot of people doesn't know. That is in the north east coast in Spain, and it's just behind me. Oh, you cannot see it because I'm kind of like in the middle. Okay, so maybe should I move away? Okay, hold on. Yeah, those over there. You see it? It's a beautiful place. So you have like 3 nice islands, and you have over there just the coast of Catalonia with very clear and nice waters. And you just can take a boat from just the shore and stay there in approximately maybe 20 minutes or so, and go to the water and enjoy. Okay, so that's the idea. That's the plan that we have. Oh, I'm a little bit hanging here. Sorry about that. Now much better. All right, so the things we're going to talk today is about a little bit about Spain. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Estartit area. Estartit area is exactly where these islands are everything that is around and things you can do and so on. And then we're going to talk about the trip, of course, because we need to just be clear in detail of what we're going to be doing and when we're leaving, arriving, those kind of details. And finally, we'll do some questions and answers just with everything that you can think that I didn't say here. All right. So let's go for it, right? So traveling to Spain. So we're going to just take a plane. So I'm going to be, okay, hold on. This is the first time I do this kind of thing in life. So it's a little bit messy for me, but I think I can get what I want. Yeah, here we are. This is the map of the world. So here we are. This is Spain. So we go all the way from the United States to here, and then land in Barcelona. And typically those are like red-eye flights that they leave at night and arrive in the morning. And the area from Barcelona to the Medes Islands is pretty much all this up corner here that you can see. All right, this is a different place. Hold on. So we'll take a bus in here and then go all the way north just to this area over here. This is Palamos, another beautiful place for diving. But the islands, they are right here. You can see this is the Estartit area. This is where the hotel is, the place that we will be. And here are the islands. So it's, kind of like a sword, right? And very beautiful place. Lots of sights to see and visit and so on. Of course, you have also, all the life from Barcelona. and everything that you have around. Barcelona, you can maybe go earlier or stay longer if you want. I mean, there are plenty of sites in there. This is the Olympic Port. There is a very nice destination for restaurants and hotels behind there. You have the downtown. This is a whole view of the city. You have nice buildings and all the sea at the end. This is a view from a little park where the TV station is, and there is like a kind of like one of those places for playing kids, like a Seven Flags kind of installation. So it's a nice area in general. I'm not going to talk too much about Barcelona, because the goal is more like Costa Brava in the north. But just to let you know, the things that you can do once you are over there. So that's about the idea of where we are in the world and the things that you have and so on. Let's talk a little bit more about the Estartit and the surroundings. That is the place where we're going to be. So the main thing that we want to know is probably just the natural park that is surrounding the islands itself. This is a protected area that you cannot normally go over there. I mean, they have certain rules and certain schedules where the boats go and so on. And it's quite limited in the kind of activities. Of course, you cannot fish, you cannot touch, you cannot take anything, and those kind of things. But it's beautiful. You have a lot of life and a lot of fish and all kind of little soft corals, things like that. So it's a nice installation. Now, let me see if I can show you some of the videos that we have from that. So this is okay, this is the map. Hold on, I'm trying to get on the view. Okay, here we are. So this is the web page that, by the way, I put the link down in the description of the website, in the YouTube page, so you can see that later on. And in this link, you can see land, and you can see also the ocean, or in this case, the sea, because this is the Mediterranean Sea, right? So you can see all of the places that you can go and visit. One of my favorite ones, I will say, is Caral Bernat, that is in here. So if I select a link over here, you can have an idea of how the itinerary is inside of the water and how deep it is in meters. Meter is 3 feet, right? And see the more or less, what to expect of the dive. And then you can see here a video. And we're gonna see a little bit. You see, you can hear? Yeah. You can put it a little bit bigger. Lots of life, fishes, and you have all kind of species over there. These guys are dentex. You have tuna, sardines, and chovies. The most popular ones are the groupers. You have huge groupers over there. Barracudas, morays, octopus. There is a big grouper. Those guys, if you don't do lots of bubbles and you approach closely, you don't move your hands and you do the right diving thing, they will get close to you because they are just curious. They like to see humans and what it's all about. A lot of soft coral like this, like gorgonians. I think that's the way you say in English. I've been a few times. Diving over here is amazing, especially once I went with a rebreather that doesn't release bubbles, so you're diving just with no bubbles. And these guys get really, really, like within a couple inches to your face, like saying, what is this thing? This is a human? What's that? Barracudas. Over there, they are smaller species than the ones you find in the Atlantic. They call it in Spain, they call it espetones. It's a little crabby, lobster. If you have questions and answers, please put it on the chat on the side. We can discuss that later. Somebody's asking now about training. Yeah, we do some training. We'll talk about that later on. Anyway, you can see the visibility is great, and the kind of fish that you can find. It's a really awesome destination. I love it. So anyway, that's Caral Bernat. I'm gonna do a quick link in here also to La Vaca. I like La Vaca, and with a couple of videos we have a very clear idea. La Vaca is an area that is it's not very deep really. But it has these little caverns on the side of the island that you can go across. They're not deep caves or anything like that. It's just like caverns that you can get in and out, and they're great, because they hide a lot of octopus and another life over there. So it's very. Let's watch a little bit of this. So here you can see some of those cavities. Alternate out. And it's quite interesting. When you get a little bit inside, you see the light across the entrance, and you can see the whole life. It has a very, very interesting look. It's one of those places I like to stay, like in perfect buoyancy, floating and just watching, just the light. You see, this is one of those views that they are amazing. So anyway, this is another video on the area. It's everything that you can see in there. We're not gonna go all the way, so we don't do this too long. But again, all these videos, you can just go to the website of the government. That's one of the links that I put on the description. And you have many of these particular locations around the Medes Islands that we will go when we are over there. Then for the people that is not diving, or even yourself, if you get bored in the afternoons and you're going to go around, besides of course of all the places that you can see and so on, the government also has a guide for some of the natural resources that they have in there. They have parks where they can do, or you can do like walks through, very long trails and stuff. You also have some of the visits that you can see through the trails. You can see a castle. All this is in walking distance, by the way, to the place that we are gonna go, right? So let's see, yeah, if I can show you. Oops. Yeah, so you see here is the port and the islands, and then those up here, those are the trails that go all across this little mountain, and you can visit, some of these places and castles and other things if you like just walking or just doing hiking on the mountains, right? So those are some of those interesting activities that you can do over there. The other thing I want to show you here is some of the pictures I had. I think you may have seen these ones if you asked me about the trip before. But this is about the kind of fish, the barracudas I was saying before that you can find around. You can that's me, by the way. That was the year that I was over there with a dry suit and my rebreather, and that was insane because I was the only guy with a dry suit. I mean, you can do a dry suit if you want, but it's not really needed. I mean, over there you can dive just with 5 millimeters. That's what normally most people do. But it happens that in the same trip I was going to cave diving inside Spain, and in those places it's very, very cold, and you really need it. So that's what I had, So here you can see a moray, octopus. This is some of the other towns that you can visit nearby. So if you go over there and either you take a taxi or rent a car, some of the places is better just maybe go with a taxi, because sometimes it's hard to park. But if you go farther away, like in this particular case, Begur is a little bit farther. I mean, a rental car may be more interesting. So, but those are beautiful, beautiful historic towns. Very, very old. This is another place to dive. This will be optional. This is not part of the trip that we are organizing, but it's a beautiful place that you may choose to go Friday. Probably I will be there the last day, Friday, because somebody wants to do like an advanced class with me, and this is a perfect place to do the deep dive. This is for a less advanced, because you need, this is up to, if I remember, 120 feet, something like that. And there's a lot of life. This is Palamos. And the wreck that you're seeing over there is called the Boreas. So if you're interested, just let me know. Another beautiful town in the area, this is Girona. This is one of the bigger towns of Catalonia, and if you decide like you want to go back to Barcelona at your own and maybe take the train, this is the place you take the train, and it's like a bullet train that goes all the way from Girona to Barcelona really, really fast, like maybe within half an hour, 40 minutes. Another beautiful town, this is Cadaqués. It's one of those very emblematic cities in the north, very known because of Dali's house. Dali has like a small summer house where he used to go and paint and all that. So very, very popular. Here you can see this is Calella, the Palafrugell. This is a beautiful, beautiful town because of the water that is clear like glass, and has these small little beaches around. Pals is a historic place because it's pretty much like a castle city. So essentially it's like being inside of a huge castle, and you can walk on all the streets around, and it's just medieval. So it still conserves, all these structures and all these housings that they had in medieval times. And this is another town that I've never been in here. I'm curious to see, because it's very beautiful. I've been told about the place. but it's a little bit more inside Catalonia. This is in Girona too. This probably is a little bit farther away, but it's spectacular, because all the houses are hanging down in the mountains. The name of the place is Castellfollit de la Roca. This is the boat that we're gonna take over there in Medas Islands, and essentially we'll take it in the morning, go to the islands, come back. It has a capacity for, they told me up to 30 people, but they normally don't fill with more than 20 just to be more comfortable. And hopefully will be some less when we go. We'll see. Because so far the group is growing right now. But I mean, I don't think we're going to get to 20. Now here some of, again, some of the animals, like another group, grouper with a Gorgonian on the background, very beautiful barracudas, and then I'm going back to the loop again. So this is not what I want to do here. All right, so moving on. I think we can talk a little bit about the trip now. That's what we're gonna be doing over there. So let's talk a little bit of trip planning. How we are going to do this. So once you get your spot and just confirm this with the store, then of course just make sure that you get your planes, your tickets, because airfares are getting more expensive every day and more difficult. So just go ahead with that. And the two airlines that I typically recommend for Spain, because they are more inexpensive than the American ones, are Iberia. Okay, I'm going to put it here, the logos, and Level. Those are the two national ones. Level is actually related to Iberia. It's the cheaper branch, if we can say. And those are great, if you want to do a flight that leaves late and arrives a little bit later over there. And some of the people is taking these flights. So the idea is that they will arrive around 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. or something like that in Barcelona. So you can check that one. But if you prefer an American one because you have points or you have whatever other agreements, that's fine too. Those typically arrive earlier. So you will have to wait a little bit, taking some tapas over there in the airport. It's not no big deal. But those are the options. So that's one of the things to think. Then we need to think about documentation. Documentation, of course, the basics. You have to make sure you have a passport. The passports now are taking long, so make sure it's up to date. And if it's not, do it now, because even now, you can be. I mean, it still is. So what we have like 2 months almost, but I mean, it's taking long. So just make sure you get it, because last time we tried to do a passport, was for my daughter, and it was over a month. So just let you know about that. Then you have to have diving insurance. So we recommend you the DAN insurance. That is pretty good and works all around the world, and also has some travel insurance. The diving operation is not going to let you dive if you don't have an insurance. That's a law in Spain. Over here, I think it's more optional, but over there it's mandatory. So just make sure you have an insurance. If you don't have one, the operator over there is going to sell you one for the week. It's not very expensive, but just don't be surprised about that. The last thing you may want to consider is to have medical insurance, or extend your insurance, whatever arrangements you have, in case, I don't know, you break a bone, or something crazy that it's not going to happen. But some people I know that they like to recover, and they go, with some health insurance. Over there, the emergency room is going to take you anyway, but you don't want to end having an invoice It's not going to be nothing close or similar to what you get here in the States, but it's helpful to have. Okay. The other options that we want to talk about on the trip, we need to talk about the gear that you may want to get with you. So these over here are the minimums I typically recommend. Just to have your fins, a mask, snorkel, and a computer. Actually, the minimums to me is the mask and the computer. Fins typically are big. I mean, and obviously they're going to give you once. It's probably not that such a big deal. So that's covered on the trip, so that's fine. The mask is helpful because often people have struggled with masks. They don't fit properly. Some other people has graduation on the lenses. So whatever. I mean, I will take care of that. And the computer is always important because you can keep a log of your dives. So you know what is going on. You know your computer. You know what's going on, and you're going to be using it for the whole trip. So you can keep control a lot more all the gassing that you have from dive to dive, and keep track of this, and then you can transfer to your computer and you keep your logs properly. So this is why I always recommend to students have your own computer just from day one. And of course, minimum, mask and fins is the typical thing, right? So those are the things I recommend for the trip. So once you get in the trip, you arrive to Barcelona, and we're going to meet on the airport at around 1:30ish, or I maybe meet you guys earlier because I'm gonna be there a couple of days earlier, and I'll go to the airport, I don't know, maybe at noon or something like that, so I can start moving people around and make sure we're all together, and get ready for our bus. To do that, I'm gonna ask if you have your cell phones with an international plan. It would be great, and we can install WhatsApp and do like a little group for the people on the trip, and just be everybody communicated. T-Mobile, for instance, it offers like a free international, and it works very good with things like WhatsApp, for texting and things like this. And if you want to be faster, they have, for a little money, they give you faster bill rate, so you can have more bandwidth, to do all the things with your phone. But T-Mobile is actually included, unless my T-Mobile, unless what I know. So those are the things. Once we are in contact and we just get together, then we're going to get a bus that we have reserved from Barcelona to Estartit. And again, Estartit is about 1 hour and 30 minutes north. So we're going to go all the way up there. Then we're going to take the group together and get in the hotel and do the check-in. The hotel is close to the beach, maybe like a 3-4 minute walk, and it's called the Medes 2. All right, so if somebody wants to check it, it has a nice pool. I mean, it's a comfortable place, but everything is in walking distance. Everything is very close together, so you can go to the hotel, to the beach, you can go to the restaurants, enjoy, of course, all the Spanish food, and those things. That's a big thing, by the way. So if you're not familiar with the Spanish food, be ready to enjoy, because there's a lot of options, lots of things to try over there. So that's the idea for the trip. I'm not sure if I'm leaving something off in here. So I think that's pretty much it, what I want to talk. And again, if you have any questions, you can put it here on the questions and answers, or you can contact me later, or you can also put it on the comments section in the YouTube. Okay. Just the only thing to remind you again, just airfares are coming quickly high, so just go for it. So that's pretty much it for now. So if there's any questions, we can just discuss it over here. So let's see what we have in here. So Lauren is asking if we offer dry suit for diving. Yeah, I mean, you can bring your dry suit if you want. Rentals, probably they will be. I will have to double check for you. I mean, that will be out of the package that we have. But if you really are sensitive to cold and you like to dive in 7+ Fahrenheit, just with a wetsuit, I mean, we can work with that. So I don't see that is a problem. Are poisonous species in the water where we dive? No, typically. I mean, the species, as far as you don't touch anything, you will be fine. And this is not a place where you have poisonous. Well, you may have maybe but I mean, if you want to call it poisonous, okay, it's poisonous. It will be the spider fish. Scorpion fish. Scorpion fish. This is the one that looks like a little rock. That's the one that has like a big spine on the back, and you don't want to touch it. I mean, but you're not going to do that anyway. It's kind of like the lionfish that you find in the Caribbean. That kind of poisonous. I mean, that's the only thing that comes right now to my mind. But I'm not a biologist, so I cannot tell for sure is anything else in there. I mean, there is no reason to be scared about that. What is the water temperature in July? Okay, again, it's like probably 7 Fahrenheit plus, I will say, something like that. So again, it's like a 5mm wetsuit, what I will recommend over there. Let me see if we have more questions in here. I need to move this. Okay, here. Okay, so Crispin is telling us, can we get open water certified during the trip? No, that's the short answer. The problem is to get into the water over there, you have to be already certified in open waters. I mean, this is just a rule that I cannot go around. But say this, still I'm gonna get one student that he already has one dive, and I'm gonna do the dive in Barcelona the day before everybody arrives. And the two other dives, so those are 3, and then there is the 4th dive. That one, yes, we will get into the water, because that's like pretty much like kind of like like a tour kind of dive. So that's fine, but only in that particular situation, because he already had one dive from discovery class. So, I mean, we can discuss the situation, or what you can do, I mean, there is 2 weekends before the trip where Aqua is going to check out dives. So you can do those dives in here, and then you're ready just to jump to the water over there. We can do that. So you could do it here in early June. That will work. For instance, that's another possible option. Ryan is coming, by the way. He's asking for a typical day in the itinerary. Okay, so very good question. So the typical day. So the thing is, and I was gonna talk about that. I forgot, by the way. Thank you, Ryan. The idea is to wake up in the morning. So we'll be on the boat around 9 a.m. You can have a nice breakfast if you want in the hotel before, by the way. and we go either to the islands or maybe some other dives that they are not straight on the islands, but they are more on the shore, that they are similar. It's just to have more diversity. Then that takes typically, maybe like a couple hours, I will say, so you leave, you go to the water, stay like 45 minutes, something like that, maybe up to 1 hour, then come back. So it's maybe 2.5 hours. So you will be back, what is that, 11:30 in the morning, and then take the second group. So if you saw the people waiting to get in the boat, we'll get more people and get back. Other people will go down. So it depends how full the boat is, and then go back again for a second dive and do exactly the same thing. And then being back around, 1:30ish, something like that, on the shore. And then after that, it's up to you. You're going to be free. You can go to the restaurants around the area, or we can do a group meal or a split or whatever you want to do. I mean, there's many different options. Other people may just get a rental car and go to one of these towns that I show before on the pictures. That's another possibility. So you just can have pretty much the day free for you. Or if you are so fascinated with the dives and you want more, the dive operation offers like an afternoon dive and a night dive, if it's enough demand. The night dive is awesome over there because you have some bioluminescence life, like you shake the water and this thing comes up to light in the middle of the night. Then you have octopus coming up, So I think it's one experience for one night that would be worth to do. So we can decide as a group or individually, who wants to do that. And you just can get back to the Calypso and do it at night. Or you can even do the afternoon dive if you want. You can also do activities on the beach. There's a lot of water sports. With this thing with the glide or with the jet skis. So it's lots of things to do if you want. So that will be the afternoon, and then you go back to the hotel. You can have a dinner, or you can have a dinner somewhere else, and come back to the hotel and to the next day. Right? This is going to be, by the way, during the first 5 days. All right, so we arrive over there Saturday, then we are going to stay in the hotel all this week. So it's going to be the first when we do the check-in, the second, third, fourth, 5, 6, 7, and then the 8th we do the checkout. However, the dives that we have agreed for is just 5 days. So it will be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right, so those are the days that we have already reserved and hired. So it will be 2 dives every day. Everything you want to do, you can do extra. The Friday is kind of like a rest day. But again, you want to do something else, then you can dive. And this is the day I was planning to go to Palamos and do some of the dives over there on the Boreas, right? And then the Saturday morning, we'll get all together back to the bus and come back. Some people ask me they want to be later on. Over there, could be maybe a couple of days, or then go back to Barcelona, stay longer. If you want to leave the area earlier or later, you're free to do it. As I was saying before, you can take the train or you can take a bus. It's up to you. The bus that we have hired is going to be leaving Saturday in the morning, and probably early, because some of the planes, I know some of the people is coming, is going to be leaving in the early afternoon, something around 1. So we need to leave maybe, 9 o'clock or less, or something like that. So that's the area. Ruth is asking, how deep are most of the dives? All right, so um, most of the dives they are very shallow. I will say, what you saw on that page from the government. You can go back using the links that I put on the description. They typically are within open water level. There are some of the dives maybe a little bit deeper than that, but yeah, we're talking about less than 62 feet, something like this. That's the open water recreational limit. If you want to go to the Friday dive that I was saying on Palamos, then that's going to be deeper. That's going to be down to 120, right? Now, there is some dives on meadows that they also go deeper. They can go down to 100. But I didn't talk about those, and if it's not enough or a reason to do it, like maybe separate the group and say, okay, these guys are advanced and these guys are not so advanced, these guys can go deeper. That's very typical. We do that in boats all the time, that some people goes to the deeper dive. And places are some of the islands they can go down to 100, around 100 feet, I will say. But most of the dives, I would say, they will be more like in the 60s, and those are fun dives, lots of life, the caverns, all these corals and so on. So it's not really need for more than that. All right. Current. Current is asking me. Ruth is asking for currents. No, it's not currents in Medes Islands. Nothing like the Atlantic. Like here is crazy now. No, there is very, very comfortable. In general, Laura is asking if there is possibility to bring family. What they do? Well, as I was saying in the beginning, if you have a non-diving pattern, you can go. Excuse me, no pattern. Sorry for my English. I'm not saying it right yet. Sorry. All right, you're a spouse. Fine. So you have an spouse that is not diving. That's fine. I mean, there is plenty of activities to do there. I mean, you can do all the walking I was saying. If you like the natural stuff, you can go and visit some of the towns. You can maybe do like an excursion. Some of the activities that they are organized in the hotel or in the agencies that they are nearby, they will sell you, okay, whole day in Girona. You can go to Girona or Cadaqués, and then you can just jump in a little van or in a bus and go there, enjoy the day, then come back in the afternoon and join your spouse for the dinner. You can do that. Or even you can go on your own, and then your spouse can go later on with a taxi and meet you on the dinner or whatever place you have decided to go. So it's lots of activities in that sense. This is, in fact, the idea I had for this trip versus other trips that we typically do in Panagua, that they are more like Caribbean, based in a resort, or maybe in a double board or something like that. This is nothing like this. This is just to enjoy the land, same thing that you will enjoy the sea. And at the end of the excursion in Costa Brava, you can even go down and stay a couple of days in Barcelona and enjoy also the whole life in Barcelona. That is immense. It's like visiting New York. I mean, it's one of the big metropolis in the world, right? So absolutely. I mean, it's plenty of activities for your spouse over there. Yeah. So what else we have? We have Ryan is asking to travel nearby towns. It is easy to rent a car, or better Uber or taxis. No idea about Ubers in there. Trying to remember. Yeah, rental car is very easy. I mean, I did that before, and I'm thinking to do it again this summer. So probably will have a car in there. But I'm not sure about if Uber is in, or similar to Uber is in Barcelona for sure. I use Uber in Barcelona, and but don't remember for sure in in Medas. I mean, if not, there will be some equivalent to Uber. I mean, there is other companies. And taxis, of course. I mean, taxis is no problem. So it's very easy to move. One of the big things in Spain also is that the public transportation is immense. It's great. I mean, so you also even have buses, to go to different places if you want. So that should be easy. Okay, so I think that's all the questions I have so far. So if there's nothing else, I think we're gonna go wrapping up for now. And again, I mean, you guys can just put questions on the comments down in the YouTube, and just ask, whatever you need about the trip. Also, I'm gonna ask you, please just click on the like, so we know that the people is interested in this trip, and that will help me, a lot, like an instructor, just to keep this adventure going all the years. All right, just with Aqua. So thank you very much for being with me tonight, and I hope to see you first week of July in Spain. It's gonna be, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Thank you very much. Thank you, Laura. See you soon.